Now, to you and me, you may think this is a large lump of common or garden rock, albeit a large one. And many of you will have seen it in Northfield, where it's locally famous, and there's even a road named in its honour. It is indeed a great stone. But it's no ordinary stone. It's much travelled, as it was deposited in Northfield when it was left behind as a glacier melted across the Midlands 440,000 years ago. Now, it's often thought it was moved by the glacier from Snowdonia, but there's more to it than that, because geologist Dr. Rob Ixer says it began life in the South Atlantic 450 million years ago and ended up in Snowdonia in more recent times.
Technically, for those of us, there are only, I would guess, a few hundred people worldwide that love this sort of detail. It's a crystal lithic vitric tuff, which actually means it formed in a great gas explosion. It's not a lava, it's an explosive rock. Think Mount St. Helens. And in that explosive ash cloud were individual mineral grains. That's why it's called a crystal. There were bits of rock that were incorporated, bits of country rock that were blown up with it. That's the lithic part, and it's full of pumice, full of glass that is frozen, and that's the vitric. So a crystal, lithic, vitric tuff, or tuff, really, it's just a tuff.
Well, now Roland Kedge, a Northfield amateur geologist, has made an extensive study of the various erratic glacial boulders to be found in Birmingham in the surrounding area. He wishes to give prominence to the Northfield boulder, or erratic as they are called, which is next to the Great Stone Pub in Church Road, and he paid for this descriptive plaque, which was unveiled by Dr. Ixer.
Giving us something to think about.
Now, Mr. Kedge has been on a mission to share the fascinating geology of the stone with a wider audience, and he's published a pamphlet and developed a glacial boulder trail. So Roland, just tell me, why are you interested in what basically is a lump of rock?
Well, this is a very special lump of rock because it's been preserved and looked after. There are lots of other rocks like this in South Birmingham. Some of them are hidden and others are clearly visible, but people walk by them without a second glance simply because they don't know anything about them. Now, this rock has been preserved here and has stood here about 62 years. Before that, it stood on the corner of the pub, where it protected the pub from the passing traffic.
This is the only place in the country where it said you could have a drink by the pint, the pound, and of course, the stone. This is Norman Bartlam for Big News in Northfield.